Hello everyone, it's Charlie here again from Charlie CBG Guitars. Okay, today we're going to do a little soldering. I wanted to get my pieces together for my Brickhouse. Right, I'm going to do it first. I've made my hole for the single coil pawn shop. Single coil pawn shop pickup that I got, CB Getty, and I'm going to add to that in parallel this piezo. This is the rather big one. It's, I forget, it's like 47 millimeters. It's a large one, and I'm going to see how that's going to work in the. I'm going to put it here in the neck area. I removed some of to make it thinner so we get a little more pickup from the strings, hopefully. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. And then I'm gonna put a hard bridge here for my 3-string. Okay, this one here, and we're gonna solder up the electronics for that today. All right, during the podcast with Dale Puckett this last Friday, there was a couple people asking about the electronics and soldering. Usually I have these diagrams that I printed off the internet, and today we're gonna sort of do a design like that, but without the 3-way switch. We're just gonna wire in the piezo and the single coil. And then I have a couple of diagrams here for the volume and the tone, right? So I don't get those mixed up. And then I've got, well, that's a humbucker, so I don't want that one at all. So these are my 2 basic. And then what I found was, for most of your piezo and cigar box guitar, this Ted Crocker has a lot of good information on how to wire up your piezos and make them sound better. So, but these are my 2 basic drawings I'm going to work off today. Diagrams it's just to keep track of where my wires go, and so I don't get them mixed up. Alright, and as we do that, I'm going to show you some of my soldering technique. I'm not the greatest solderer in the world, but I do the best I can. Thank you. Okay, I wanted to show everybody my soldering rig I've got laid out here. I've got a nice little soldering station, right? And I really like this one because I get the temperatures I want and I can adjust it. I usually like to solder at this 720, maybe 780 once I get my, always leave your tip, right? Good and tinned, right? With a nice little thing before you put it up for the night, for the day or the night, whatever you're working. I got a little alcohol there. My meter and all my parts. And then my station here, I've got some magnets and the little helper arms. These magnets work real well for holding stuff, right? I can put all my, and they don't run off on me. And then I got my flux. I have to keep that in the refrigerator out here in the garage because in the summer it gets rather hot and this stuff will just melt, and then it's kind of worthless. And on my station I got my water sponge, and I got another water sponge over here. And then I got my flux in here for cleaning off the tip. What I found out was the best thing to do is have a clean tip, right? I've got some jumpers I made up, right? Those come in handy to test things from time to time before you go ahead and wire everything together. And then I got my capacitors for my tone. right? Because I'm gonna have a tone and a volume. Right, you wanna, I usually put a little sandpaper to it to rough it up so I got a good connection on the back of those for the grounds. Right, and then this one's gonna have a hardtail bridge. So I have to run a ground lead because electronics has got to have a ground to the strings. Don't forget that. I forgot that a few times, and then I have to go back, take it apart, and start over again. All right. And this is my station. I just wanted to show that. I put it on this board. Everything is done with these magnets. Right. They're heavy duty magnets, and they pretty much hold everything down where I need it to be. Okay, and these little helper arms, they come in handy, especially when you're tinning your wire. Right, you want to put your little tint on the end, your solder, before you try to solder everything together. Right, make sure it's all cleaned off with the flux. I've got solder here that's got a flux in it. Right, but you can never have too much flux. I mean, as long as you got a good fan and ventilation, that is, anyway. All right. Okay, here's my sandpaper. I got a 1000, right? I just want to rough up the back here so my solder will make a good connection on the grounds on those. And that. Okay, my tip is now hot enough to accept the solder. Right, so I just clean it up in my flux here. Okay, that's ready. Let's start by putting a little ground on here. Oh, let's do my capacitor first on my toner. So the tone goes. So I'm using 22 farad K on this one because I'm thinking about adding a 10 in there on this piezo to kind of take some of the twangy out of it. So I'm going to put that in parallel with the line on these lines here, and then have this on the toner here. So I wanted a less farad on this capacitor here for the tone, even though these are 500K potentials. So that way I can so I want to tin these up a little bit with some solder. Let me where's my toothpicks? These babies I love. Toothpicks are good. And I have my little toothbrush type deal for some alcohol when I need to clean up some stuff. Just hold it in place for a little while, let it firm up. Alright, that little piece there I can cut off later. See that? Let me kind of zoom her in here a little bit. Okay, so I got that on there. Let me get my dikes. Pin that up. Put me a little spot here on the back. Okay, those two are tinned up. Now let's tin up the place where I'm gonna connect it here. Put the ground right there, or the negative, and the positive from my volume potentiometer is gonna go on that spot right there. Bring that baby up a little bit. Put a little on that end of the tip there. And on the hole. Clean it up again. Put this ground on there. Getting a little sloppy now. I done burnt myself a little bit there. Come on, baby. I think I done stripped that baby out. Okay. Everything is good connected there. Then I'm gonna go to this one. Which is following my drawing. So on the volume, this is gonna go between here and the potentiometer. I mean the tone, the volume and the tone is this leg here. So I always turn them so that they're facing each other, so that when I put them on the guitar, they'll both spin in the same direction, right? This way, if I follow the drawing exactly, then I'm not gonna mess it up. So I want to cut that one, the red one, a little shorter. Get the black one. Okay, so when you buy your pre-wired electronics, they come with these other jacks, and I like the ones, these are a little better quality, so I'm saving these for my lesser expensive guitars. So what I want to do is put this one on there. Now these are got the long necks on the potentiometers there, so I can do less, having to do less cutting. So I want to tin this one up, right? Tin my holes up. That's the negative. Okay, so what I got here. Okay, let me tin that baby up, clean it off again. Okay. Now this one, I seen a deal where they put a little hoop in the end of each one. So, see if I can do that with this one. Okay, so this is what I've done here. I've got my wires put together so I can attach them to the potentiometer. I put my single coil, right? All the grounds, all the negatives together, and then all the positives. This lead here is going to go to my piezo. It's got a positive and a negative in it. So I can attach this to the potentiometer with the negative and the positive. And they're together. Whoops. Okay. I had to reconfigure my deal because I got these two a little close together. All right, let's see if we can get this one on there. Clean everything up. Clean it up with a little alcohol. Okay, well, it's time for the test. Let's see if I did any good here. So I know my piezo is hot, right? That baby's real hot. Alright, that's why I got that 10 microfarad, 0.01 capacitor right there. Kind of eat up some of that. And then I got the single coil here. Let's see if that works. That baby's good. Let's turn it down. See if our volume is working. Nothing. Nothing. Turn that baby back up. About halfway. We got a little there. Okay, let's see if we got any tone there. Well, the piezo is going to be one thing, right? So it's a banging. But let's check out this single coil. Well, we'll just have to wait and see till we get the strings in it, but we know both of them are working. Thank you, Jesus. It ain't the prettiest wire job in the world, but it's on there. So that's a heavy duty piezo there. And this single coil. Alright, I got a volume and a tone. I got a 22 on there. I got a 10 on the end of the piezo there. Hopefully to tone it down a little bit, take away some of that bang. Because I'm not going to have as much cushion in that box. Because I want it to pick up the strings. Okay? And they might be about a 1/4 inch away. We'll see how it works. This is going to be a little bit of an experiment, but we're going to check it out. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. A little bit of soldering. Bye.